hand and the Razor the other immediately snapped up for NVMI. So they get the Death Prophet Void combo, which has been very, very powerful in late game scenarios, and well, even early to mid game can be if you get the chrono right.
I mean, when it looks at the bans, you look at phase two for Team Empire, they take out the Viper and the Razor, but they have to leave in the Death Prophet. All three of these heroes kind of filled the same vein of thought as far as the frontline individual that takes a lot of damage, but if they can sustain through the fight, can really just heap on the damage. So, obviously, they're going to be picking up the Carbulus here, kind of the Dawn of the Dead between the Wraith King and the Death Prophets, but this is a pretty interesting pick here. Godblack going for the Silencer to follow that through. I'm curious how they're going to run it. If they run it as a support silencer, then that means that they are going to be hard lacking on stuns. Like, they have no way of canceling TPs other than Chronosphere right now. So, yeah, I guess that's what it has to be, since they already have the Death Prophet and the Void. I mean, I guess
It could be an
theoretically they
offlane
could
Void.
offlane Void. But I haven't seen Godblack running much of that recently.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting an offlane Void, to be honest. So, like
Okay.
you said, I mean, having a double supports with zero disables against a Tinker is a recipe for bad news.
Yeah.
There's
And
really no other way to put it.
the Centaur Stampede as well. Like, they don't have any roots. They don't have anything but the Chrono right now. It's actually kind of incredible how little control they really have. The silence is great, don't get me wrong, but one Stampede and they don't get any kills.
Yeah, fourth pick coming out now for Empire, so still looking for some laning presence here from their supports, as they currently just have the Wraith King, it looks like, who's obviously not going to offer too much there. And they'll need a mid as well, so, what do you see out there as far as, like, supports that can get them through this laning stage, hopefully zone the Void out and slow him down a bit? Anything jumping out at you?
I like the Vengeful Spirit because you have more potential to use your swap to maybe engage on a silencer before he's ready to, or if somebody gets caught in the Chronosphere, like the Tinker, who's going to be really important this game, you can swap him out of it and keep him alive. So anything with defensive reactive play, defensive disruptions, nether swaps, things like that, I think is going to be very helpful. Shadow Team is actually one that I didn't think until I was just going through that list, but really works well with the Centaur. Soul Catcher helps out that uh, double edge for massive amounts of damage, and then of course is a pretty good roaming duo with the Wraith King. So I would love to see a Shadow Demon here, but Shadow Shaman's going to be the one that they choose to pick up, just getting a little bit more emphasis on early gold, using the Serpent Wards also potentially for Roshan.
Yeah, Serpent Ward's up, and this will give them with the Wraith Kid as well. They have something to kind of tank the Roche, so yeah, looking like Empire has some Roche potential, and they needed this also just to take towers, because right now before that pick, they had really no push. They had wave clear, but no tower killing potential.
Come on, return to dealing damage to towers. Imba tower push right there.
Yeah.
Maybe not, maybe not. But yeah, final banning phase coming through. Obviously, Team Empire is tapped into a lot of reserve time, but they have a pretty clear-cut draft. They know where they want to go with their last pick. So as long as they're not too shut down by the silencer, that's going to be kind of their emphasis here. I really am curious how they want to lane the silencer. I prefer like a number one position here because enemies aren't really going to be going for BKBs, so you can do a lot of damage with glaives and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I really think they should just go with a stun combo, maybe a Rubik to steal Mass Serpent Wards and Stampede, synergizes well with the Skywrath, and it gives them that hard stun, and that would, of course, leave the Void in the off lane. So, yeah, I think that would do pretty well with them if they last picked the Rubik and ran the Silencer as a number one position. Do you think they're lacking the late game if that's the case, or do you think that the Ags refresher build for the Silencer is plenty?
I mean, if Silencer's Eggs Refresher and Void and Death Prophet of some farm, I would say it's pretty even late game. But to me, it's like, how do you deal with the Tinker? That's really the main question, and they don't really get great answers here with the Treant, but they do get some ability to slow down the push for Empire. So even if Tinker's clearing waves, is he actually taking towers? Not so sure. But yeah, this will be a carry Silencer in the end. It looks like.
Very cool. So Illidan has played this a decent bit, and he really does like it. Of course, Scandal could pick it up as well if they want to switch how the lanes play out. But Godblack, of course, it's like a signature here to pick up the Treant Protector for him, and it actually works really well here as a counter to the Centaur Warrunner. You just Overgrowth when the Stampede comes out, and they nullify that effect. And it's also a combo that we used to see very frequently here as a New Earth. Oh, the Ursa, really? I hope. Level one. This is level one Roche.
Yeah.
This is like Vampiric Aura, Fury Swipes, easy mode.
If they 5-man TP in, can NVMI stop it in time? They don't have any extra attack speed for the Ursa, but they do have Vampiric Aura Ursa. They've got Centaur and Wraith King to tank.
NVMI's strongest level 1 spell is Leech Seed, to be honest. Like, the Crypt Swarm's okay.
Hey,
level 1.
Leech Seed can be pretty strong, but not in this 5v5 situation, I don't think.
Yeah,
not so
yeah. Like, they don't have really any good level 1 spells other than that, though. Like, the Curse of the Silent could hit all 5 heroes, but then they immediately cast a spell, and that's gone. So, yeah, I really think that they could just uncontested go for Roshan right now, no problem at all, and get an easy level 2 start for this game. In fact, we've actually seen strategies where some teams will not only go for the Roche, but make sure that only one person is in range for experience, and then start at like level 5, level 6 on the Tinker immediately for some crazy nuke damage.
I guess the reason we don't see that more is that generally when teams level 1 Roche, it's somewhat contested, so like you don't just want to abandon that person in the pit, but yeah, I feel like I haven't actually seen that in a pro game, and I actually don't think I've ever seen it where just one player gets the experience. Sometimes like 2 or 3 will split it and get like say level 3, but yeah, I'm a believer in the level 5, man. That's game breaking.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like, it's not even that far off of level 6. Like, it is absolutely insane how much you can do with a hero like Tinker, maybe a hero like Zeus. I don't know. Like, there's a lot going for it.
But they're baiting it, Blaze, and I don't think we have time to introduce the teams here. We'll try with Empire as they move forward. They're smoked. They're expecting this one to be scouted. It's being scouted out by Goblik's tree, but he's got boots. Silent, leading the way is the Wraith King solo on your Ursa. Resolution, playing the Tinker. Looking forward to seeing his Tinker. Will be my first time casting it. Mag on the Centaur. And last but not least, always want to fly on the Shaman. And they know it's coming. They actually paid this one out, NVMI did, but they still get caught. Illidan. In through the front they go. Solo gets off the clap. Now the follow-up's there with the Leech Seed, though. They might be able to turn this one. Silent dropping quickly. Illidan still alive. That extra HP actually makes the difference. He gets the first blood. It's a bloodbath to start things off. Godblack will fall next. 2 for 1. And that'll be it. So, first blood going the way of NVMI, but they do give up 2 kills in exchange. Overall, a fairly even trade.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I'm really surprised how quickly they were able to focus on the Wraith King. Stout shield and 2 armor, but he was the one on the front lines. He's the target they chose, and just barely the Silencer lived long enough for it. So he gets 2 intelligence from the Wraith King. It kind of, there was a recent buff for Wraith King where he got a little bit more base intelligence, and that kind of counteracts it. As well, the first blood going to Illidan himself. He's going to have a pretty good time in terms of safe lane farm, maybe even moving in towards a Hand of Midas to start.
Yeah, and with that said, we'll go ahead. We'll introduce the opponents here. You've got Godblack handling the Treant Protector as mentioned. Lil will be playing your support Scarith Mage. Illidan on the carry silencer. Scandal, the Death Prophet mid, did not get a good creep log at all. This is going to be a tough lane for him now. And DK Phobos will be playing that offlane Void. Was quite impressive in the previous game on the Centaur. Let's see if he can keep it up here. Though, he's already being zoned out the lane a bit by Always Want to Fly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but Mag taking so much damage from the double damage Treant Protector. 170 base damage is no, well, it's not base damage, but 170 right click damage is no joke at all. And yeah, Centaur just immediately goes back to base like screw that. I'm not gonna pop a salve or whatever, just deal with 1 rune, the GG rune from Godblack. But yeah, he'll get back to lane pretty quickly and try to make up for lost time. But if we see right here Lil going for the pull, he's gonna tango through. They're gonna double up this pull, and yeah, Centaur's gonna get nothing from this lane.
Yeah, at the same time, the lane was pushing hard, so maybe could have leached a little bit of experience from the trees, but you're up against Scarith Mage Tree. That is a pretty good zoning duo, so I think given the situation, like, if you have to go heal, that's ideal time to do it. Yeah, the one good thing for NVMI is that this is a dire Tinker, and so far, not seeing any stacks. Solo is currently farming the jungle. Ancients haven't been stacked yet, although, as I say that, Mag will begin that process, but yeah, that Tinker's not going to have the same economy he might on the Radiant side, which is definitely good news for them.
How do you feel about the Grease chat, where they're actually going to be jungling the Ursa and farming the Wraith King? Obviously, the alternative would be Silent playing a support Wraith King and Solo actually getting the lane farm, which would be increased GPM.
I kind of like the idea of not doing this, because you can just... Your supports can also do other things to help your team's economy, like stacking the jungle for the Tinker, so... Ursa to me is just one of the best heroes to zone out any melee. Like, even as a carry, if DK Phobos even comes near the wave, he gets shackled, Ursa comes in, claps him, hits him a few times, like, you've lost half your health. You might even die if he gets phase boots out, so... Yeah. That being said, Jungle Ursa did work out for EG at WEC, so... Yeah, I think it has potential, but so far DK Phobos is getting a lot out of this lane, like, more than what you want to be giving an off-lane Void.
Yeah, I think the difference between the two strategies is the potential to zone out the top lane and the potential to zone out the mid. Scandal could easily be like being ganked 3 versus 1 right now with a smoke mover from Shadow Shaman and Wraith King, but because Silent is dedicated to the lane and they really do want to emphasize zoning out DK Phobos, he's going to have a perfectly fine time gaining CS here. He's currently 13 and 8. Up against Resolution's 9 and 2. Tinker has a pretty bad attack animation and not the best base damage, so we'll have some hard time here, but fortunately, of course, the Centaur stacking up the Ancients, he will be able to kind of rubber band once he gets some points in March.
And for now, Illidan looks like he's going to be rushing a Midas, so we're going to see an early Midas, most likely for the Silencer. Probably about to pick up the recipe, and yeah, it's going to be a fairly greedy opening for this team with the Midas Silencer, potentially... Well, we did see the Void Midas, but I don't think we'll see that this time around as he is off lane, so... Yeah. I always feel like with Silencer, it's just like, he either has an amazing game or he's just useless. I very rarely see those, like, he had a middling impact kind of games. So I'm really curious to see which one it's going to be for Illidan.
Yeah, but I think they have the teamfight potential to make the usage of his ultimate really worthwhile. Overgrowth plus the Global Silence is absolutely insane, and if you can get an Aghanim Scepter on top of that, like BKBs is a must, but you still, after the BKBs, have damage coming in from Death Prophet, from Void, that'll just be able to focus those targets down. So it's really difficult. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for Empire, and I think they're going to be struggling when it comes down to the mid-game teamfights.
Yeah. At the same time, if they can bait out either one of those spells, then what do NVMI have? They have Exorcism, and they have... Exorcism Overgrowth actually sounds pretty sick, but that's assuming that your tree can get in a good position for one, which is, you know, very hit or miss when he's the 5 position.
No, I think this start off with the First Blood and early Midas from Illidan is just going to be absolutely absurd when it comes down to how quickly you can pick up that Ag Scepter and how big of a contribution it can bring to the team. I mean, Centaur right now only has 208 mana. It grows gradually, but if he gets killed off again, then he's going to be losing 2 more intelligence
And
each
straight to
time.
Rush. Here we go.
Oh, nice, nice. They got the Vampiric Aura level 1, Fury Swipes at 2. This should be a quick and easy thing, and Kyle Black, he is pinging it out, but... We'll see. Yeah, they're actually in retreat. They're going to kind of zone control this area.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the Void's getting a lot more top lane. Like, you look at DK Phobos, he is charging after Always Want to Fly. We go to the Secret Shop, gets his completed Poor Man Shield and the boots. And that's a big investment. They used up a TP there. They rotated 2 heroes down, one for the jungle and one from top. And they don't get an Aegis. Cost NVMI very little to contest that.
Yeah, what this lineup has in potency as far as early Roche, it lacks subtlety. The fact that a core Wraith King is missing from your top lane and farming is very obvious, and they're going to be constantly scouting that out and looking at the pitch, trying to get some wards up in that area. Usually your alternative when you can't go for Roche is just to go for your own Ancients, but unfortunately because Centaur's been stacking that for Tinker, they actually can't manage that.
It's too big. It's just, there's too much there to take down for an Ursa at this stage.
So they go for kills. Looking at top lane, maybe they could try to get a stun combo onto DK Phobos.
The Shackles in range. Needs the Hex like right now. Not sure why he's waiting so long. There you go. There's the Hex. The Shackles will follow this up. They also have the level 2 Ether Shock. They'll chain the stuns pretty nicely, but with Living Armor, DK Phobos may live. Clap, but will heal through this with a salve and continues to retreat. They're really committing. They do have another stun. Throwing it out now. No more follow-up nukes. DK Phobos, 7 seconds to go. The Global was blown for that. Gets nothing in return until Scandal TP's in. Maybe with this TP they can get solo. He's probably going down. Does anyone else arrive? Lil making his way there, but won't get there in time. They do get the Ursa. That was the guaranteed kill. But Always Want to Fly and Silent make their way out. And meanwhile, bottom lane. Bottom lane, they're looking for Meg. Illidan diving pretty deep for this one with the living. With the silence. Last word, almost enough. They also get Silent, so Scandal secures a double kill, and they almost get the 3rd kill bottom, as Meg barely lives.
20 HP. It's only a rank 1 Curse of the Silence, so the last bit takes of damage wouldn't be sufficient, unfortunately. But yeah, they still get a nice little turnaround up on the top lane. What was just a single kill on their offlane Void turned into a nice little turnaround. Like you said, the global was questionable, but when you're in a position where you're just trying to get last hits and focus on your lane mostly, and you just kind of see a fight breaking out, you hope that it'll help, but you can't really turn your camera and your attention enough to really show for it. We could see from our bird's eye view they didn't even have mana to cast spells, and it was a complete waste, but it's a hard call. Almost getting the stun down on bottom lane, but the Fog of War proving too difficult for Silent to pierce through.
And that was their second smoke. They only have one left to even try to sneak into the Roche pit, let alone actually secure it. And levels are starting to become a problem for the Ursa, only hitting level 4. Definitely a hero that you need pretty much all his spells maxed. Like, you don't necessarily need Fury Swipes maxed early, but you might want to max the clap for sure, at least get a couple points overpower, get the level 1 ult, and he's not getting too much. Wraith King is doing pretty well, and they are doing okay for the Shadow Shaman top, but I feel like if they don't get this Roche now, they're going to be in trouble, and Void's coming. He's got backup in tow. Oh, this could be bad. They see it, but it's too late. They're caught out. Solos going down here. Silent probably as well. Into the pit will go DK Phobos. He focuses on the Wraith King. Death Prophet ultimate, not actually skilled up yet. He's only level 8 and hasn't taken a point in it. Still, they get 2 kills. March will zone them out, but the damage is already done.
I was thinking with that rank 4 March they might be able to secure it, but that was a 4-man rotation. They are fully aware of what Empire wanted to do with this draft, and they're just completely denying them of it. Now Scandal in pursuit, under the March Machine's taking a lot of damage here. The laser's not enough, but the right click is.
Yeah, he turned to run, and he was like real close to being able to just throw one more auto attack out, but Resolution's bottle arrives just after that, and the opportunity is lost, and again into the pit they'll go. They're going to get this Roche finally, I think. This should be the one that does the trick, but as I say that, Phobos is moving in, Lil's moving in, Illidan has global, no mana for it though. Actually, 150 mana short. Will they give him some bottle charges? Trying to bring in Godlike as well, but it might be too late. Roche dropping below a 3rd HP, and well, let's begin the tango again. Solo on the run, will there be a bash? Don't even need it. They'll get the kill in the Ursa. Roche low, but not dead yet. A Silent desperately needs his level 6. Isn't that close? They're getting massacred in the pit. They're going to lose the Wraith King for this as well. The stun comes out. Phobos will fall. Godblack Gok actually killed up by Roshan. They don't even get the kill. What a frustrating turn for Empire. And now Exorcism's ready. They can clean up this Roshan. The tree gets smacked down by Big Daddy Ursa. They'll snatch the Aegis. The wards get the kill, but NVMI get the glory. Oh my, what a train wreck of a game for Empire.
This is just ridiculous. Yeah,
they did get the Roche kill though, and this early that is a lot of gold, so they can at least be happy about that.
Yeah, the gold is very nice, but I don't think anybody got the experience. And one thing is just with all these kills coming out for the side of NVMI, Silencer is going to get huge fast. 2,500 gold on this guy, and he has 10 charges, or 10 stacks of his Glaives of Wisdom buff. So he is getting tons of intelligence. They're losing out on their mana pools. It's going to be harder and harder for them to survive. And the Aegis, of course, went to a pretty good carrier, the Death Prophet here. Scandal just tearing through with that Exorcism #1. Doesn't even need a tower kill when you can just win out that fight. So it's going to be on Tinker to kind of rebound back, try to farm up his own jungle, and there's the VOTs.
Yeah, good timing for Resolution. Soul Ring, Null Tally, and the bottle Boots of Travel. So pretty quick farm, to be honest. And I mean, it's not like he's just been in Freedom Land. He's had to deal with an Ursa and Wraith King doing nothing to help him mid. Constantly try to force the Roche issue, and still the CS is there. So good start for him. At the same time, he still needs longer to come online, and I don't know if NVMI are going to sit back and give that to them. They have Aegis. Scandal has his ultimate in 25 seconds. Chrono's ready to go. Global Silence is online. I mean, they got everything, and they're going in mid now. There's your global. Actually, Phobos backing off right as he time walks onto Resolution. Thinks he has enough to get the kill, but doesn't in the end. Now the turn onto Lil. Very hesitant play from this Void. It's going to cost them. It's going to cost them the 1 kill. It may cost them even more as the chase continues. A little bit low on mana. Couldn't get off an extra stun on Silent. That was real miscoordinated, and they blew the global.
Yeah, that was a miscoordination between specifically Illidan and DK Phobos. If the global silence was in the Face of Void's mind, he has nothing to fear. But he didn't think it was going to get used, and he saw the Shadow Shaman. He was just going to get Hexam, get shackled in his own chrono. Didn't want a part of that at all. So, what the hell are these words doing? Anyways, but yeah, he goes in, he tries to get the kill, and if he had just committed those 2 auto attacks, it would have been guaranteed in and out. But instead, he runs through all this march. He gets afraid of the Shadow Shaman for no reason, and that costs them dearly as they lose the top tier 1 as a result.
Yeah, I mean, Cade thing, like you said, is just bad coordination. It's not. You can't just pin it on the Void or the Silencer. Like, obviously, someone said let's go in. The other wasn't expecting that to happen, and yeah, in that case, looks like Phobos thought they weren't going to commit too much to that, but they were. Costly mistake. Still, they have Aegis. They do have level 2 ultimate on Scandal, and I still think NVMI are in okay position here. Like, looking at they stole the Aegis. They have the Aegis for how long? Let's see. Another, like, 3 minutes or so. That is plenty of time to force a tier 1 mid, tier 1 bottom. I think they can take at least 2 or 3 towers with this Aegis, and that should be enough to limit the Tinker's mobility around the map.
Yeah, 400 gold on the Death Prophet Yule Scepter. If she can get a Yule's and a rank 2 Exorcism off and just pound into the enemy and then come back with that second life for some more Crypt Swarms, they're just going to be able to take fight after fight, tower after tower, and I don't know, Empire are going to be at a loss for words right about then. As well, this is the perfect timing because Goblek just got opponent Overgrowth, and it's needless to say that that's huge against this team. Wraith King and Ursa are almost entirely right-click heroes, and that's going to be a huge detriment when they just are completely disarmed.
Even Centaur, like, he stampedes and runs in, you press R, and suddenly he's not going anywhere, and neither is his team. So, yeah, I think Overgrowth is very potent this game. They actually have good responses to Stampede in general. Like, having Chrono and Overgrowth, that's going to be tough for Mag. He'll have to be very patient with his timing.
Yeah.
Or just get an instant Blink stop and set up a kill that way. But he doesn't have his Blink yet.
Still farming it up. About 650 gold away from that, so his timing is just slightly behind the Death Prophets. We'll see if they force the issue when Scandal picks up this Yule's. He won Crypt Swarm, and yeah, he is going to be picking it up with the next creep wave. So I think that's their timing. Yule Scepter, use the 2 lives before Mag has the Blink, and that all bodes very well for MVMI. As well, a freebie down at bottom. The Radiant takes the last hit on the tower, and the March of Machines does not dissuade it.
They have Global again. Are they going to force it? Lil spotting out the Wraith King, but that's not the hero they want to be chronoing, is he does have his ult. That being said, it's a pretty long cooldown, 4 minutes and change, so it's okay to kill him off, but you'd much rather be getting an actual hero kill. Looks like they're not going to force it. Speaking of that Wraith King, if our Silencer steals enough in, then he could run into issues this game plays. Like, it's possible he may not have mana for his ult in upcoming fights if he gets caught out too many more times.
Yeah, most definitely. The Curse of the Silent, perhaps applied ×2, it does stack with the Aghanims effect, so that would drain all of his mana in a very short span of time. And yeah, I expected there to be a number of fights where he's just not going to be able to ulti despite it off cooldown. So very important resources. We're going to see some action down bottom. Empire looking to make things happen, prevent the Silencer from finding his axe, and starting off with the Hex into Shackles.
Always want to fly, gets a Stampede initiation off, and all the follow-ups there. They did blow the wards for this. Global used in reply as they try to engage on top lane. DK Phobos going on silent. They did pop his ultimate, but that's it.
Yeah.
And now he's forced to time walk out while in the mid. They'll use up the Centaur and they begin chase. Overgrowth here, Scandal ready with the silence. No way for Meg to get out of this one. Can't stomp, can't run. Will go down, and they're going to take the tower. They might get an additional kill. That's a double damager on Scandal wisely. They will cancel the TP. Was that the Tinker? I think that was the Tinker.
Yeah, it was BOT, so it would have canceled by default when they killed the tower. But yeah, it's him just kind of playing around the map a little bit here and trying to find, looks like a Dagon as quickly as possible. He's got the Blink Dagger up already. But I'm not sure about those Mass Serpent wards down bottom. If he had just shackled, the Global wouldn't have come out at all, and obviously the wards didn't do much but farm up a creep wave. So
and they didn't take a tower with the wards. That's kind of a concern. They do have the 1 tower top, though.
Yeah. 1 tower, but that's not going to be enough to put Mag to the Blink Dagger, so he's still going to be farming up the jungle a little bit here, maybe with Double Edge and his Tranquil healing up, and that's going to just put him in a position where he can actually start engaging in these fights. For now, all the ultis from MVMI are on cooldown, but they're not the longest. They're going to be coming back up within the minute.
It's a minute if they want to fight, but at the same time, your Death Prophet is still pretty gargantuan, with the Yule Scepter up and 2,300 gold in the bag. They may just want to wait for the next Roche. That's kind of where I'm at for Empires. Yeah, the ults are down, but you don't want to be taking a really bad engagement now, and with Roche potentially only a minute to come off cooldown. So we'll see if they try to find an opening. But if they don't play around the ults, then they're gonna have to fight against them. And VMI are very scary if they hit their combo. It's just a question of whether or not they find the opening.
Absolutely. The problem is, by waiting for Roche, they have guaranteed that Illidan will have a second
They smoked under
sector.
a Dire Observer.
That's unfortunate. So, yeah, just Centaur running away, getting his Blink Dagger, and turtling up another tower. But, yeah, Illidan has his Aghanim Scepter now. Aghanim Scepter Curse of Silent against a team with 0 BKBs. That's most of their mana and half their health right there. People underrate it, but it is absolutely insane how much damage he's going to be able to do. And that's just him. Like you said, the Death Prophet's huge, and the Void Chrono is always potent.
Yeah, it's like close to 400 damage before reduction, just magic damage, and then they're all silenced the whole time as well. That's a lot of damage. Not to mention, during that time you could be chronoed fairly easily, you don't have a great escape mechanism, can't Centaur ult to disengage. It's a concern for Empire, and I wonder if NVMI are going to use that to their advantage. Just 5 men. They blew the Exorcism top lane, got a tier 1, but would love to see them go for a bigger objective here. They've got about 2 minutes. Now time walk in. DK Phobos is there. The easy GG combo. Global even thrown out just to prevent Mag from counter-initiating. And with 1 or 2 more bashes on Phobos, this will be a secondary kill. Stampede's there. Ah, just barely gets out. Well, the Shadow Shaman comes in, but Hopi easy prey for this Void Skyreth combo. They strike again. Nearly netting 3 kills. Mag living on just a sliver of HP. Is he really thinking about going back in? No, he's not going to get.
Solo just picked up his Blink Dagger, but he is not confident at all right now with his current HP and mana pool. Like, the double damage rune coming out for Scandal. They can still go for this death push even with a couple of ultis on cooldown, but I think they're probably just going to hold back, at least until the Exorcism comes back up. I mean, it's pretty much just an uphill battle for Empire. I mean, like you said, the rush is going to be huge, but it looks like that's going to be a decent respawn here, about around the 10-minute mark on that.
And for now, NVMI, they've used their full combo, pretty much, so expect them to play a little more defensively, but looking at the cooldowns, they should have all of them up in time for the rush. It's like almost perfect timing, actually. So if Empire don't find a couple picks soon, they have to fight against the ults again, and they just don't seem capable of winning against them. But they do get Goblet. Easy pick on the tree. And a much-needed one at that. 25 seconds to go. Can they take the Roshan in 20 seconds? That's the question. If not, Global's going to be up. Void ulti will just about be up. For now, they're leaving Silent bottom.
Yeah, I keep on looking at Ursa and hoping that he can, like, jump in and do something very shortly, but he's always low on health. If the Vampiric Aura isn't nearby, his lifesteal is kind of limited, and his mana pool is constantly empty. Don't know if he's just spamming out his overpower for faster farm or what, but he's not ready to take a Rosh, and the Rosh just spawned, so I think that NVMI are in a position to contest it by far, and this is really bad. Even though Resolution, as great of a tinker as he is having a really good game as far as net worth goes, the Dagon 1 is not going to be enough for them to hold their tier 2 towers once NVMI just look for blood.
Yeah, and talking about the Ursa a little bit more, this is one of the reasons why I think Hex is an amazing item on him, because his mana pool really struggles. Like, you'll see players go for Abyssal Blade a lot, and it can be a very strong choice, but generally, even just getting the Vlads helps with your mana pool, but if you skip Vlads, I feel like you just have to go for probably a Hex. I mean, you could maybe get something cheaper like a Soul Rain, but that's money that's not going to help you out later on in the game too much, so we'll see if he goes for one. But talking about Hexes on this Ursa, it's a long way off from that. As NVMI are quickly working on the rush. They have Global ready, and they're not going to contest into this Empire. They'll just start spamming the Marsh. No real effort to engage. Centaur in position to try and jump if he wants to. Mag, not going to do it, though. He'll let the Rosh go, and Scandal will happily claim his prize. Now, nearly a completed heart.
Double damage plus Exorcism, just so much physical output. Even without damage reduction, or the armor reduction, they're still able to claim Rosh very quickly before the marches really set in, and yeah, now he's got this amazing HP pool. They're just not going to be able to bring him down without a huge fight. Like, they need, I think, like 6 or 7 stacks of Fury Swipes on Death Prophet just to bring her down once. But after that, the second life coming back, and
I mean, he's not hitting her 6 times. Like, that's just not happening unless everyone on MVMI falls asleep. Like, they have Overgrowth, Chrono, Global, and she's got a Yules, so I hear you. I agree. They have to hit her like 5 or 6 times with the Ursa, but I don't see that happening.
Game is hard. Game is very hard indeed. But we'll see Illidan going up the Hasten.
We can never count out Tinker.
Certainly true. Resolution going to go for the Ghost Scepter now and turn that into an E-Blade later. A lot of potential damage there. And the cool thing is that items are not silenced. When Global Silence comes out, his mana pool might be subject to question, but his item accessibility will not. He'll be able to dig on E-Blade.
Oh no. Oh no, this is bad. They found resolution on the bottom lane with the Mask of Madness, as well as the follow-up from the Scarlet Mage ult. They easily get the first kill. Solo just forced to TP out instantly. And that's the one hero that really can't be dying right now. They need resolution to get farmed.
Yeah. So they used the Global Silence to guarantee that kill. It was actually unnecessary, but all the same, they're perfectly happy to commit just a little bit more to get the big ones. The big kill on the Tinker, make sure they can take this top lane. And, like, what can Empire send to this Death Prophet right now? Scandal, even by himself, is just absolutely immense with this Exorcism, and they aren't going to contest it. It's a solo push that they're refusing to respond to, because they really just can't do anything.
They just don't have any confidence in their ability to take fights, honestly. Like, and I don't blame them. Until they get Dagon E-Blade and probably like a BKB on the Ursa or the Wraith King. Well, even that wouldn't help them that much. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they need someone to tank the front lines, but who can do it? Who can stand against the Void, Scarlet Mage, and Death Prophet Exorcism?
You'd hope it would be Centaur, but Mag just hasn't had that great of a game. Right now, he's only gotten 40 CS, 4 assists. His GPM.
I suppose the Wraith King's okay at doing it.
Yeah,
The Blade Mail in his ult, but they can just kind of ignore Wraith King, and that's like, he paused Blade Mail, great. Just overgrowth him, chrono him, and don't hit him, or just kite him with a Yule Scepter and Exorcism. Like, I just, the way NVMI have itemized and the state of the game they're in, that one hero that can initiate can also be ignored, and that's my big concern.
Yeah, most definitely. And I keep on looking for answers for Empire, but all of them come out about the time that Silencer's Refresher does. And if Illidan doesn't get just completely picked off from like a Blink Hoof Stomp or something, then they are going to just drop to this Aghanim Scepter Refresher Orb. Like 2 Curse of the Silence and 2 Global Silences, that's everyone's mana pool. He just has to hit it on a few heroes.
And he's getting closer, like you said. Perseverance out. There's a plate mail coming for the Death Prophet now to go with the completed Heart of Terras. These are big items, plays. These are huge. They're starting to hit, like, 30-minute type of farm, and we're only 24 minutes in. And this is with Empire having what looked like the easy gold advantage, the Roshan lineup being on the dire side, but NVMI just knew exactly what their lineup was up to, and they never lost focus of it. It wasn't a level 1 Rosh, and oftentimes that's like the obvious one, but they didn't give away free Rosh even later on in the game. Godblack and the rest of his squad were just on point the whole way through.
Yeah, it's actually interesting how little the Void has to do for them to feel confident in this game. Like, usually you look at it and you're like, okay, gotta land the big Chronospheres, gotta move in, he's gonna go in with the double damage rune, but gets stunned out right when the global attacks.
He's got a DD rune, but he just doesn't want to be focusing silent right now. He's like, you know what, screw it. I'll chrono him. And now I gotta kill him again. Solo thinks about coming back in. He doesn't have a blink available. They'll force the Stampede out and pursue a bit farther. The first hit bash! No, the bash. They're not done yet, though. They're gonna look for Solo here. He blinks on top of Scandal, right past him, trying to leapfrog his way forward. But then they turn. With the Exorcism here, Solo won't last long, and quickly melts to Scandal's might. And hey, what do you know? In position to try and push the mid lane. Though the March will prevent that, at least for now. Meanwhile, bottom. Illidan. Just solo kills the enemy Centaur. Oh my goodness. They did get the tower kill, but he might die to wards. He ran in. He got himself blocked from behind of the creeps. It's full 322 mode. Oh, Illidan, please. That was real unfortunate.
GG creeps. I don't know. That was.
I would totally rage buyback if that happened to me, man.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I think he wants to refresher orb too much for that, but at the same time, that is brutal. I don't think I've seen such a pitiful death in a while, but all the same, I don't think it sets them back all that much. Losing the tower and losing their most important hero, and they're still like shrugging it off, I'd say, because they are in such a great position in this game. 10,000 golden experience ahead, and every team fight from this point forward is almost an auto win unless they get the opening on the Silencer. They have to stop the globals. They have to stun combo him, burst him down, because if those ultis come out, the fight's done.
By the way, I just want to point out what an absolute menace Godblack is being right now, and he's doing it without firing a shot. Dropping 2 Observer Wards down near outside the Roche pit. As the Aegis will be reclaimed in a few seconds. This is right around the time when Empire looks
too, I think.
They're going to be instantly revealed. I feel like it'd almost be better if he didn't reveal them, and then NVMI just set a trap. But Empire, Well, just sitting on a Sentry Ward now on the Shadow Shaman, so really limited detection. And he drops one. They're a little suspicious. They just got a sense that Goblek was in the neighborhood. Backup is inbound, though, with Scandal Silence. Global Silence #1 has been deployed. They've got the Refresher. If they want to go for a #2, they certainly can. But they'll just happily collect the easy kill.
Mag has no mana.
Oh, no.
Mag has no mana from one freaking curse. Oh, how do you stop that when you can't even cast a spell?
He has 299 mana. How much int has he had stolen at this? He's had to have lost some. He got solo killed earlier by the Silencer, who, by the way, is up to 12, so it's not that insane yet, but I expect it's only going to continue to rise. Yeah, you steal a little bit more mana from Centaur, and he might not have mana for his combo. It's 210, he's sitting on 300, so die to the Silencer a couple more times. Even that may be beyond him.
This is absolutely brutal. So he's like a walking EMP. Like, he's throwing out global radius EMPs. He's the Ultra Wex Invoker. Invoker 2.0 indeed.
Well, I don't know where Silent's planning on going here, but he's really out on an island. Well, on the other side of the engagement, Goblek gets caught out. The Global Silence will prevent them from holding him in position with Shackles, quickly canceling those, and they kill the Wraith King once. Now they do have to kill him again. They don't have a Death Prophet ult. Still, he gets blown up by the Skywrath Mage. Who needs the Chronosphere for round 2? Then quickly cleaning up, always want to fly Shadow Shaman. Time walking forward onto Mag, another insta-bash. The first time he goes for an auto attack. They'll finish the kill. The Void, well, being pursued out a bit by the enemy Tinker, but on the other side of the engagement, they lost one more here. The Ursa ended up going down, and oh, sorry, actually up over here. And the lone survivor, it's Resolution's Tinker, but Blaze, more and more, it feels like he just can't do it alone. Even if he gets the dig on E-Blade, NVMI are coming high ground. They might even go now. They're all mid. No Chrono, no Globals, but I don't know if they need them. Just Exorcism can at least chip the space. Yeah. They may play it safe, though.
Just looking at the draft, if you don't have a BKB in this game, you don't have really anything that you can do if you're Empire. Right now, the fact that they can't even pick off Goblek when he's in such a bad position 2 or 3 times in a row, it's just brutal. He's gonna have a Yules now. He's like playing a Fairy Dragon as a Treant Protector. Like, he's slow as can be, but he can just be such a nuisance with all these abilities, with the fact that he can turn himself invulnerable, just absorb so much damage that they really don't have any way of stopping him from just being this nuisance, as you were mentioning. They take out one of the 2 wards with that incidental sentry they dropped, but one is still standing, and the approach into Roche should be pretty transparent. It's actually not going to be up for a while. That's unfortunate.
What a brutal Ursa game. They've already got double Yules, Overgrowth, there's a Shiva's Guard. Obviously the double Global and Chrono is rough for anyone. I mean, what does Ursa do this game? I guess he gets BKB and he just prays.
Yeah.
But mid. Onto mid they've gone. Silent's been a little bit too aggressive here, and he'll pay for it. Chrono's thrown out. They'll get the easy Wraith King kill. The trade attempted, but now the BKB from DK Phobos. He'll go a little bit deeper for this. Looking for the Shadow Shaman, will manage to bring him down, while Scandal pursues towards the eastern board, hunting for additional kills and hoping that Roche will be ready. And good news for Empire. About 40 seconds to go on that respawn.
Yeah,
so they make their way bottom.
Yeah, it's not even just the 5-mans with the Globals. It's the solo pickoffs the Void can do without them. Solo, just completely out of luck with the clear vision provided by Shivas. No jukes for you. Back of the line, buddy. Solo going back to the grave.
That was a nice Global. Just disabling his Blink Dagger, and he thought, if I'm one more wave, then I'll TP out. Not against double Global, you won't.
It's always the last wave. That last creep.
It's always, it really always feels that way. It's like, I just wanted that one more creep, man. One more wave. That I would have backed, I swear. Next time it'll be different. But it's never different.
Never.
It's always one
like
wave.
birding and have like the map sense of a god. I don't know. It's just like, it's so hard to not go for that last creep. Try to finish out the BKB, but now he's put even further from it. And it is just almost impossible to come back from. At this stage, the Silencer is stacked up 16 intelligence, plus he's going to have Hex, double Global, and I don't even know if they can contest the Roche. It's on Resolution for that one.
Yeah, Illidan is fat, man. He's more farmed than the enemy Tinker. Sure, he went Midas, but that alone wouldn't keep him ahead. It's the fact that the Tinker's died once and hasn't been getting kills, more importantly.
Oh, Solo. Never going to find this BKB.
Oh god. Even maybe with that, the Stampede will get him out safely. And Mag and Silent are starting to look for an opening, but DK Phobos is here with the 2-hero Chrono, perfectly placed. We'll focus the right here as well. And then Silence #1.
Solo dies in base.
Will Silent actually?
Curse?
Will Silent actually have mana for his ult? He barely gets it off. Silent dropping a second time. They just shred him a new one. Didn't even blow Exorcism and.
The Ursa didn't even get out. He died to the Curse of the Silent moments from the well. Oh, frowny face for you, man. That is okay. That's a wobbly face, but it is just so unfortunate here. Gosh, the cheese and Aegis about to come out for NVMI, and then they could just go for the death push. Ultis are not. They are just too far ahead right now. Empire, they have to make their last stand.
Godlike Dota, man. Godlike Dota.
These drafts. I love the Silencer, though. I really do. I think he's very underutilized. He's probably the most potent in Captain's Draft over Captain's Mode, but even still, in this setting, they are able to pull off the draft very effectively. With him, it's like a 3rd or 4th pick.
Well, they're going to barrel down mid soon. Phobos in the front lines. Chrono, 20 seconds off. Illidan, no double global for 90 seconds, 95 to be exact. And I don't know if they want to force this with none of their big ultis up, but they are pretty damn far ahead, man.
Yeah. They're gonna like make the Shadow Shaman ward his own tier 3s, I think. Like, how do you defend this?
I honestly wonder if Scandal can kill their entire team by himself. But scratch that thought, because they're diving solo on the bottom side of the map. Once again, the Ursa falls, and they'll start chasing these other heroes out. Maybe try to cancel TP or two. No, they'll just settle for some base demolition. Scandal on the front lines. The Ghost swarming, killing off the range Rex. Looking for a bit more. Always want to flag him Blinken, but they need this Exorcism to end before he truly commits. Maybe not. Phobos will just jump in. 3 hits. Insta-kill. Very little commitment for this. And just no trade. Empire out of gas. This is going to be the first slate of Rex. NVMI looking good here. We'll be 2-0. I think they're the only remaining... Well, they're undefeated. So too are Virtus Pro. But Virtus Pro haven't played a game yet. So that's not a fair comparison.
We're still pretty early on in this tournament, so as long as we keep to it and keep these games coming out, we'll see who's top dog pretty soon.
I have nothing else to say except God Black Dota. The man just... Sometimes those drafts just completely fall on their face, but when they work, Blaze, they really work, and they certainly did here. Guys, if you're just joining us now, this is our 5th of 8 games on the day. Hopefully less delays before game number 6. You're watching Beyond the Summits coverage of the Game Show League at DreamHack Moscow. I'm LD. He's Blaze. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back for game number 6. Stay tuned.